we have Min the Mage digging through, finding a cap, finding 400 bucks, finding a cabin, some more money, pro cape, and still working. Wizards, hey, that's our carry win condition. So Wizard Stick's not a bad find here. And with the early magic, this might be a viable, like if we can pop out of here, drop a house, this might be a viable carry dive now with that Wizard Stick.
It's going to be a little tight just because of low levels and having to consume a lot of heal potions to stay up to par. But yeah, this could work.
Alright, so we are back with the Week 1 Spring Tournament matchup with JazzRaptr and Min. We had to take a second to get the stream situated with a stream hiccup that was happening, but looks like we're up and running now. We've got JazzRaptr versus Min. I'm in the booth with Hypez Nova. We got Danny383 on the tracking. This is a fun time. And this is the giddiest seed that I think I've seen with these flags. We had a 12-minute floater.
12-minute, 30-second floater.
Yeah, that's real good.
Then we find the canoe shortly thereafter. It's incredible.
Yeah. And so we're airborne, we're promoted before level 10. We've got a face down knight though, but trying to give JazzRaptr the business, but Fade's going to take care of it. White Mage showing their value. We're going to pick that knight right back up with life 2, or we're just going to keep paddling. Keep on paddling.
Looks like Min is going to go ahead and do his class change so that he changes classes.
Uh-oh. Ooh, Frost Skaters punishing, absolutely punishing JazzRaptr on his exit out of here. I did miss what the waterfall item had as the stream was down. It looks like it might have been a gear item, because I did not see anything new in his menu screen there.
And somebody pointing out in the chat, yes, Min went to Volcano Armory to get his money for the tail.
That's a heads-up play, a veteran move, if you will. So I don't know if that Frost Skater dive cost JazzRaptr his waterfall dive, but I would imagine he saved upon exiting the waterfall, as it looks like he's leaving, but that was giants with poison, damage poison.
I like to call that the ouch enemy.
Yeah. Trying to give the ogres a run for their money.
Min's getting blocked by the dragon, and oh no, he goes inside. Alright, well now he has to wait. Does he go back? No. Oh!
NPC guillotine win. Alright, all that for 550 bucks. Gonna exit out and head to our next Cardia Island. Alright, so looks like we're still trying to experience a little bit of buffer here with JazzRaptr's side. I'm sure we'll get caught up with him here in a second. Min cleaning up this Cardia check, and is he gonna go to ordeals? That's what it looks like. Or not. Also gonna do the back alley check for, so thank you, Min and JazzRaptr, for showing us what is behind the weapon and armor shops here in Gaia. It's a nice little walkway as JazzRaptr is into the Temple of Ordeals. Going to show us what this incentive item is. If it is the key or cube, we love it. Honestly, if it's a long fetch quest, that's not so bad with the canoe and floater in hand. That's a lot of XP that it could turn into if we say like end up with like lazy dwarves and do a crystal herb. into a key.
Looks like he finds the exit to our deals rather quickly.
Wow. Jet seat is jet. And Minh gonna do the pop grind. Not something you see very often. Gonna get rewarded with some zombies, so that's gonna get him some decent experience and levels here. And Jazz getting rewarded with the Vampire Book Club. And they're eating nukes, so some thick vampires this time. But luckily we got a fade to back that nuke up. So both of our on-screen runners having the loot, having turned in the bottle, a key and cube away from go mode.
Be interesting to see what Minh is shooting for here. I don't know if he's not confident with his levels, or if he's grinding for gold. I don't know if he saw something that we didn't like. I don't know if Pro Green drew a lot of money, but we'll see.
Yeah, with how cheap those gold bracelets are, I mean, even just a couple fights here will be enough to buy some. As JazzRaptr finds a pack of Medusas, gets the first turn. I wish I got that kind of turn order.
And then it immediately is not his turn, and he gets paralyzed for his troubles.
So it looks like he wanted a few levels here to go into Earth, so Minh and the member of the Earth First Society gets rewarded with X for Cobras. That's not the transfer you're looking for here. So the other thing about an early canoe floater is we're probably going to get pretty far into this seed before we get some respectable levels on our Light Warriors with the ability to go everywhere super quick. That's a pretty nice tile to keep in mind.
Oh, and we find an X-Cal. Nice.
So that's a pretty good endgame weapon. It's not the best, but it'll definitely do.
It's a lot stronger than what he had before.
Yeah, I would be comfortable with that being my endgame weapon. So once I find key, I'd probably stop checking armor, or stop checking boxes. I mean, we got a white shirt, we've got access to super cheap gold bracelets. We can make do with some steel armor on that night. Maybe we'll catch some opal or dragon in a greed box, but and we even got a Vorpal that we could back it up with in a free chest in Volcano, so I think this is fine if you're JazzRaptr.
It looks like we're missing, at this point, Oxiel, Key, and Cube. Judging off of the amount of incentives that we've found, there may be something loose.
Yeah, we still have 2 loose items to find, and we still got, I'm sorry, thank you for correcting me, we still got to find that Oxiel. Did he just do an oopsie? Or is he going back to grind?
He might be taking levels on these whiz vamps. If he remembers the pillars orders, this shouldn't be too...
So, not a bad call. Not something that I would have done, but that's it's definitely a gamble, and that's the theme of the whole spring tournament. It's Monte Chaos's Casino Royale, so lots of gambling to be done. But he's going to get some good levels out of here. He's going to get some good gold. Won't have to worry about buying anything else. I wonder how long he will fight these vampires. And Minh running into ogres, getting away before he sees the toxic blizzard that awaits him should he take that fight again. I think JazzRaptr might have been the only one that saw them. And he gets initiative on the pack. You gotta love it. And how are these R-Hydras looking? Because I like this fight a little bit more. It's a little bit safer. You don't have to go through a whole dungeon to get to it. It's right there on the first floor of Earth. We got that Ice 3. We got Bane. Our Hydras will go down to Bane.
They're not very strong. They're only hitting those fighters twice, and even though fighter has a lot, or the knight has a lot of absorb, he wasn't really taking too much damage.
Yeah. So men gonna get rewarded with just piddly amounts of gold. Gonna exit out, drop a house, and head on back down to the rod floor here. So it doesn't look like the R-Hydras have a nasty script like the ogres do, so keep that in the back of our brain box and come back later. And JazzRaptr, in the middle of his vampire grind, want to get some vampire facts out in chat. This is not a oft-requested fact check. Vendor sword for Minh there.
Unfortunately, that won't find any uses in his party. Maybe another week.
Yeah.
Not another week. Maybe another match we'll see somebody run a thief. Alright, so we still have JazzRaptr taking on the vampires and Whizvamp. And we have Minh going through Earth Cave, kind of a slog just because of how many ambushes he's finding. But it looks like he's full clearing. Checking the chest that's way out of the way that nobody likes to check. Let's see if it pays off. Looks like JazzRaptr's done with his grind, and he'll be leaving Ordeals to go elsewhere. And gets a house for his troubles on Minh's side. And there he runs into that ogre with Death Toxic, which you never like to see. Meanwhile, we have JazzRaptr just stocking up on supplies, and Minh still slogging through. He finds a ribbon on the spike tile, which is nice to see. Definitely will help him out for when he gets to the Temple of Fiends Revisited. And now he's going to go ahead and take on the roadblock, or the road bump. He's there for a second, and then he's gone. And finds another katana. Alright, so we found both katanas in Earth Cave. This is interesting. There'll be quite a bit of money if he ever needs it. Meanwhile, JazzRaptr's learning Warp, so he could maybe do an Ice Dive. He also picks up Confused for when he has to face Carry. That's a very heads-up move. I looked away and everything died on Minh's side. But the White Mage is the only one that needs to live, and should be able to revive everybody else. Or one person. He only had one charge. Let's see if the Red Mage... Oh, we need... Alright, so he can pick up his fighter. He'll be doing 3-man strats for the rest of the dungeon. See how that goes. Meanwhile, we have JazzRaptr going into Ice Cave. Shoutouts to the mouse cursor on JazzRaptr's screen. Probably my favorite thing ever.
Alright, I'm back. I had to get the dog situated as he just got home from his physical therapy appointment. So thank you, Nova, for covering me. I was listening in. Sounds like Minh hit some headaches here in the Ice Cave, or I'm sorry, the Earth Cave, as JazzRaptr pretty decent level. So good heads up play with that vampire grind.
And he also picked up Warp while he was in Crescent Lake, so I think he's planning on doing this, or doing a full clear and then warping back to get the items, unless he already did that.
He might warp from here. It's a little heads up move. Oh, nope.
Oh. Maybe he already picked him up then. Meanwhile, getting ambushed by images with Ice 2, and this is going to hurt real bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any more Life 2 charges. So he's got solo White Mage strats for the rest of this dungeon, unless he resets out or exits.
Yeah, Earth is pretty difficult here for Minh with the levels that he came in at. So, out of Life 2s, he might be able to get through.
Oh, this one hurts though.
Yeah. If he can get turn order on a run, he might be okay.
Depending on how those giants roll, it might have been better to use a fade charge and then maybe exit out. We'll see how this turn goes, though. Oh, and he just resets out. Okay, so... well, it'll be interesting to see. Looks like he knows where that ribbon's there. So he'll come back for that later, definitely, if he remembers where that is. But
yeah.
He's leaving for now.
And it's more or less a free check there, right there. The box right before... Vampire. So Minh gonna give us our first on-screen look of the waterfall as we missed JazzRaptr's waterfall dive when the stream was being resynced. So I wonder if he had level 6 charges on the Black Wizard, and he might just be going through the full one cycle and then just exit out of Ice Cave with the White Wizard.
Yeah, I don't think he has charges yet. I don't think you get those till late teens.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He is going to be able to get through everything with relative ease because of his 2 nuke casters and 1 fade caster, though.
Ooh, the Gasty. Running from the Gasty.
Wow, that's good experience.
And it's one of the things that we didn't get to see last year in the spring tournament, as the encounter 8s were broken in the randomizer and were missing from the encounter tables altogether. Getting Wraiths and an Ice Cave on a spike tile seems a bit apropos.
Looks like they don't do anything too terrible, though.
Yeah, unlike their iMage cousins.
He finds a slab.
Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, that could be the key, and it was the crystal.
It was the crystal. Okay.
Free gold bracelet. Still looking for that Oxio, which is fascinating with the incentive sea shrine.
It's probably at the slab turn-in, I would imagine at this point.
Well, we still gotta find an opal bracelet, power bonk, a key cube.
There's a lot on the table here.
Question in chat from Ailmarkin: have we seen loose yet? I haven't seen anything loose.
No.
And we're running out of places to go for loose items other than the bottom of the volcano or sky mirage.
Yeah, they haven't really dove into any Fiend dungeons so far. So we haven't seen much in terms of items other than key location or key item locations.
And JazzRaptr coming back into ice. Gonna check a spike tile. Minh finding the key with the crystal, so JazzRaptr, if he didn't wipe out of the waterfall, has access to that key. And now I windmill slam all the key locks because I've played too many seeds with something loose in the key locks. And we have found the canal. So the canal was in Temple of Fiends. That was how we broke out.
It also does not count as an incentive, so you can't account that for... It is always going to be loose somewhere in the world. It won't ever be an incentive item. So you don't have to count that when you're counting your loose.
And chat calling for loose marsh stuff because chat hates our runners. We don't want to see our runners go into marsh.
They don't... whoever said loose marsh doesn't like fun.
So Min's going to continue his checks of key locks. Going to do the dwarves. And JazzRaptr prepping for a volcano dive. Going to get his Vorpal if that's where he's going to go. Not much doing. Irons and black shirts, pretty nice. Power stick. There's
Thor
a loose.
Hammer. There's a loose item.
There is a loose item right there with the Thor hammer. So that's good information if Minh is up on these flags, which I would imagine he is. So that is one loose item. So JazzRaptr gets his game changer. I wonder if he will throw that onto the red wizard. Minh heading into the ice cave. Gonna have a little bit better time here than his earth dive. Gonna take...
Oh, and he finds 3 images in that pack, so he has the information. Let's see, and he gets out of it.
Yeah. There's no way you take that fight if you have the info that Minh saw.
Oh, and he finds 5 this time. Ouch. Looks like they're about half chance to physical or so that's nice to see.
Yeah, that's a nice consolation prize for sure. Opal helmet's pretty good.
Interesting to see that he left the heal helmet on instead of equipping the silver gauntlets that he had. I wonder if he's going to get some utility out of the heal helmet.
Ooh.
Caleb at 1 HP over on JazzRaptr's set.
So, yeah, switching to run and nuke. So, time to pick. Please pick me back up. That Cure 4 feels real good. Alright, so JazzRaptr going to clear this cluster, going to get his wizard stick, might continue to dive down. I would imagine there'll be an exit and a house involved before he goes to the lower volcano floors. Minh not really having better levels than his opponent coming into this ice floor, so he's going to have to do this the long way as well, but will be able to exit out. Takes the slow approach through, doesn't want to find any dang woos banana peels here.
Oh, and everything got damage poisoned down, except for the fighter on JazzRaptr's side, so we'll see if he hoofs this out or not, depending on what items he sees.
Yeah, that is a giant pain in the butt in the volcano.
If I think there was a Vorpal in Volcano, I would definitely walk that out, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I would have walked it out too, but we've got the X-Cal. I don't know if he's gonna really risk it. You know, just might beat feet through the floor on another dive, and you have that information. It's in a basically a free chest, so if you go into Topher and it's nasty, and you bounce off of it, you know you can come back, easily pick up that floater, or I'm sorry, that Vorpal, and come back in.
Looks like he opts out of that, seeing as how he soft reset after seeing the last chest in Armory. Let's see if he goes... It looks like he's coming back for the chests, so...
Okay. Looks like he's going right back.
Picking up the Vorpal.
Yeah, he's going to come right back for that Vorpal and get out of here. And head on back down to the lower floors. Minh, a little unsure which side of the box he wants to open from, realizes that walking through the middle is the best way to do that.
Yeah, they lock from the bottom, so gotta check it from there. Sometimes they don't, though. This game's confusing. JazzRaptr running into those Paralisks again. They are no fun.
Yeah, Lightning 2, I mean, you hate to see it unless you've got Opal gear or a ribbon. Because Lightning will eat you up in Perilous, rolling in packs of over 3, like, no. Right. My Twitch just decided to reboot on its own, so I lost my chat there for a minute, but back up. So JazzRaptr down onto the Agama floor. Minh stealing some levels off some Gersharks and Wissahags. It's pretty good XP. Take it where you can get it. First look here, we've got 330 gold, 1237. It's fine. It's fine. We got damage tiles on both. Opal shield's real nice. Let's go ahead and equip that. And I definitely just moved my mouse thinking that it was my mouse cursor on the screen.
The mouse cursor strats are the way to go. So far, it doesn't look like JazzRaptr, or there is much in this third floor volcano. Fourth floor, actually. Yep. And he walks into the spike tile to find more red goils.
Yep, so we've got to find out what this slab turns into. Because if that's the Oxyale, we drop everything and go to sea and hope that the mermaids are holding onto the cube.
On the flip side, it could also have the power gauntlet, and then you're scrambling.
Yeah. But you still check the chest on the way to mermaids, so...
Did Minh wipe? I thought I saw him open these chests. Always going back for the grind, I guess. He must like these Gershark Wisahag fights. Meanwhile, we're getting a look at the one chest before carry on JazzRaptr's side. We'll see it's guarded by two mad ponies. They are indeed mad. Sorry.
Yeah, any fight with double Gersharks is pretty good. So he's going to get some decent experience here. Burn off his nukes and then exit out probably.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptr has some really nice levels before heading into most of the major dungeons. Obviously, he's through most of Volcano, but he's still got the entirety of Sea Shrine and Sky to do. So he could probably have, like, in the mid-20s, maybe 25 or so, maybe 26, depending on if we see Warmech. He'll have good levels for Topher.
All right, and at 49 minutes, 30 seconds or so, JazzRaptr's going to be our first runner on screen to pull a Fiend and give us a look at Carry 1. So, not going to disrespect this fight. 230% carry can be pretty mean. Carry could have upwards of 1000 HP with a real high amount of hits and can be nasty. So let's see how JazzRaptr approaches this. We're gonna fast the Knight. We're gonna swing with the Knight. We're gonna throw some tempers on that Knight. We're gonna launch a fade. Throw a fade off.
Not hitting too hard.
Yeah, not hitting too hard. Xcal, one shot.
Wow.
That's why you like the Xcal. Xcal is basically a wonderful sword until you get to Chaos. Anything that has an enemy type, the X-Cal is going to take advantage of its weaknesses.
So,
Min's
Carrie was real weak there.
Yeah, Min's looking
Only
for
had around
revenge here.
300 HP.
Yeah, that was definitely a low percent carry. This carry in the vanilla game has, I think, 500 HP, so she rolled super soft. And JazzRaptr, go back, go back, go back, go back to Lafayne.
Did he translate the slab?
He may have. That might have happened, but I don't... Oh, maybe? Nope, looks like he didn't. That's where it looks like he's headed, so...
Yeah, he's going to talk to Dr. Un.
Fade's rolling through this undead pack. Min's had enough. He's not going to let this Earth Cave scare him no more. He has that information that the ribbon is in this next treasure chest. He's going to pick that up. JazzRaptr thinking hard about what he wants to do, how he's going to circumnavigate the globe here, and decides that he wanted to fly south from the Ryukon, which isn't bad. I mean, flying around can be super fast, but it's real easy to lose track of where you are if you're just flying over open sea. So I don't blame him for looking for a point of reference, and the Ryukon Desert, you know, is directly north of Gaia and the Lafayne parking spot. So
it's really interesting with how the overworld works, because it makes routing a lot more complex than you would imagine, just because of how it wraps around.
Yeah, and when you see runners like Spellzap and CC, you see how efficiently they... Oh, we got... Oh, that's... I got excited.
It's not a T-Rex.
I got excited because the sprite was blue. But you see runners like Spellzap and CC and how efficiently they navigate the world in their airship, and you're just like, one day I will aspire to be like you. As JazzRaptr is rewarded for talking to the Lafanians with some herb, gonna head back on up to Elfland. It's not bad. I mean, gonna get a 10% more, 5% more XP. So take it. You know, keep those key items coming in.
Keep it going, and if he takes those fights in Sea Shrine and Sky, they'll be looking real good for Topher.
Yeah, because Min's still looking for Cube, which... So let me think. So we've got the herb to turn in. If herb doesn't turn into crown, the crown could be loose to the Oxyale or Cube. Any one of those could be loose on its own, but we're running out of options here. Because we know we have one loose item.
So, unless this turns into something... Okay, never mind.
So...
This is more interesting.
We have a loose Oxyale. My math is right.
Loose Oxyale, and we know where the key is. We don't know if JazzRaptr picked up... It looks like he hasn't turned in the crystal.
Yeah, he definitely went to Waterfall. I don't know if he bounced off of it or not, but we have a loose Oxyale, because we know now in Sea Shrine, that's gonna be... He has the TNT to turn into. Can check our notes real quick and see what that TNT turned into. And doesn't look like anybody has turned in the TNT yet, so that TNT could be the Oxyale, so we might not be in a loose situation here.
So the things that we are up for grabs currently are the Oxyale, the Power Gauntlet, and the Crown.
Yeah.
So we could see either all three of those, or not all three, but one will have to be locked behind the Sea Shrine because it's an incentive location.
Yeah, and we're still looking for an opal bracelet too.
I think the Power Gauntlet's in Sea Shrine. There's no way for there to be an empty fetch quest, so I don't think there can be a fetch quest behind Sea Shrine.
Right. So it could be opal bracelet, as well. Because we do have 3 pieces of gear in the pool. Now, it could be a crown in C that leads to Power Bonk, but yeah, at the end of the day, you're not wrong that we can't have Oxyale in C Shrine, not without Entrance and Floor Shuffle on.
Okay.
And Minh gonna pull Lich at 55 minutes 40 seconds, and we're just going full offense. Fade comes in, hits Lich for 121. Swing from the Vorpal 3 hits 121.
Jeez, these fiends.
Take a bow, Lich. You had less than 300 HP. So, Minh exacts his revenge, lights his Earth Orb 56 minutes in. He's on a tear. Gonna pop into here.
The bosses are paper, but the enemies hate you.
Yeah, gonna translate his orb. JazzRaptr going back to the waterfall. So I guess he wiped out of here. So I guess, yeah, I think when we saw him coming out of here before and he got wiped on the river system, I think that was without a save. Now it does look like there are 2 back-to-back encounters in this encounter table. So I'd imagine that he may have misjudged where he was in the encounter table and caught back-to-back before he could save it, because I know that river was not nice to him. Those frost gators beat him up real bad. And Perilous Lightning 2 reminding him why he hasn't come back here. Not today, Satan. Reset. Time to equip that Opal shield for sure. Get that lightning resist going.
I'd just like to take a second. Definitely go and follow these runners, JazzRaptr and Minh the Mange. And thank you, Danny, for tracking.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these runners going to be running in the next 5 weeks of the Swiss rounds. One of them might make it out all the way to the brackets. This is it's a pretty deep pool of runners. We have over 70 signups. We have 74 signups, so 37 matches every week coming at you for the next 5.5 weeks. And then we'll take a break for RPG limit break. We'll get a last chance qualifier race. I think it'll have approximately 18 runners in it, and fighting for 1 spot to race in the play-in race. And that play-in race will have, I think, 22 people in it, as all the 4 and 2s beat each other up over for 8 spots to fill out the brackets. As the 5 and 1 runners and the 2 runners that finish 6 and 0 will advance into the brackets automatically. So looks like those Gasties have poison damage too. So it's not nice here in the ice cave.
Depending on how many damage poisons are in the pool, it might be on the Medusa script. Mm-hmm. I know we've seen giants with damage poison also.
Yeah. Don't think there's more than 1 damage poison in the pool, so that you're right. That might be the Medusa script there. As sandworms with the
poison.
So confirmed poison damage on the Medusa script, is that's our 3rd enemy with damage poison. And it's kind of that's kind of scary. I mean, giants, you got them in the overworld, you got them in dungeons. You won't see them in Temple of Fiends, but you will see those Gasties in packs of 4. The sandworms. Okay.
Sorry. For anybody that doesn't know what the Medusa script is, there's a list of spells that each enemy has, and they get assigned to themselves. And the Medusa shares the same script with 2 other enemies in the game. And when those spells get shuffled, you can tell more clearly that they share the Medusa script.
Absolutely. And JazzRaptr gets his crystal, exits out immediately, got his free gold bracelet too. Minh sees that X-Cal in the linked chest, so that spike tile up there is not one very commonly check, as Minh gets his fast ordeals off too, and is blinking to miss it through the pillar maze. So JazzRaptr probably going to kick himself in the butt here when he gets this key, but I think he's going to keep his head level and just bear down, do his key item checks, or his key location checks, and realize that there's a loose item throwing off his count. Now, he does, if he looks hard at that menu screen, he'll see that he has that TNT, and I imagine he will turn in that TNT as he's checking the key lock indoors.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptr finds his keys, or his key, so it'll be interesting to see what he does from here.
Yeah. And Min's going to get the TNT here, so we'll get the information on whether or not that TNT turns into the Oxyale, or if we're looking for loose Oxyale. Because it's either behind the TNT or it's loose in a box somewhere. I guess the crown could be behind the TNT, but you know, at the end of this fetch line, we're running out of options. So an hour, 1 minute in, looking for this elusive Oxyale and an incentive C seed, which in my mind tells me that Oxyale's probably loose in Marsh, because that's how my paranoia rolls.
We also have the entirety of Mirage and Sky to check, so one runner might opt to do that so they can get items and light an orb at the same time.
We just found an Opal bracelet behind them TNT, so JazzRaptr gonna pick that up. That's the best armor in the game for a mage. It's really good. Super high absorb. Gonna dig through here. Gonna get the information on his loose Thor hammer, and think pretty hard about his life decisions about where he wants to go next. Does he go Sky, Sky, Sky? Or does he gamble in Monte Chaos's casino?
Answer to a question in chat, yes, Loose Marsh is still on the table along with the entirety of Mirage and Sky.
So, you're playing in this seed, Nova. What do? Do you go with the heads up, logical, rational play? JazzRaptr has also Earth in front of him, so he's gonna continue the clearing. Oh, wait. JazzRaptr just making a liar out of me. So we're still looking for one loose item. The Thor hammer was the first loose item we have found. The canal always going to be loose, so we're really dealing with 3 loose and 2 loose items. So it's a, I'm sorry, I got distracted by that defense sword, and that's a really good grind tile to find with the Waters and Nagas. So all through Spring Tournament here.
Ooh, and a Gurmedusa tile.
Yeah, so take your pick. All the XP in the world. So take a little grind here and think about where you want to go.
Only 3 letters. S, K, and Y.
We still have a couple key places to check. So JazzRaptr finds really good value here in Northwest. Minh will be here shortly. Gonna check the Elfland Armory and gets rewarded with
another ribbon.
Gotta love it. So Minh's early exploration gonna pay out for him with double ribbons, and at that point, that's really all the ribbons you need. A 3rd ribbon would be nice, but for a second my heart skipped a beat. I thought we were gonna get a cheeky TOF lock, but Minh is apparently Team Sky, Sky, Sky. As JazzRaptr moves his mouse at the 1 hour 4 minute mark. We are cursor free. GG's to those mouse cursors.
Whoever had their predictions in, GG's.
Ooh, Sun Sword's pretty good.
Toss that on the red mage if he picked it up.
No, he's running at max capacity here. Just did not pick it up.
I mean, he doesn't really need it, considering he has nuke on that red mage.
Interesting that he wasted an exit charge to save when there wasn't anything really worth picking up that he kept, and he could have just reset all the same, but kept the charge. But you know, it's only 1 level 2 charge.
See if that bites him later.
I doubt it will. I mean, it's a life 2 charge, sure, but by now his Knight and Red Mage should have plenty of them. Gonna get our first look here at the less than greater than room. As Min's still plugging away at this grind. I wonder how much of this grind is just, I'm going to burn all of my nukes and fades, and then that's enough. Those would be the levels that I take into Topher.
I would imagine with the entirety of Sky and Sea Shrine to go to, that he's just going to run. He's going to go mode everything as soon as he finds that Oxio.
Yeah. And I like a mid-game grind here because it kind of lets you take your breath a little bit, think about the key items you have, think about your routing, where can you go? You know you have all of Earth, you know you have all of Mirage Sky, and you have Marsh ahead of you. You kind of think about where you are, what you need to do, and make a plan. And I think that's what JazzRaptr's doing here.
So I wonder if I don't remember him finding any ribbons if he did. So it'll be interesting to see if he does this for the MDEF game.
Yeah, he has not found a ribbon because the ribbon was in Earth, and
the third one is in greater than less than room.
So Minh getting all the cute hats he could possibly want. He's going to have one for every life caster. Going to keep it on the mages, keep those mages up for the time being. And dragon armor. So Minh getting basically all the value that he could possibly want here. All he's really missing is a Masa. So, and gonna pop out, gonna get blocked by Robot Friend, and head up through the Q block. And I wonder if he's gonna do check all of one, blitz through the spider floor, check Sky 3, and then warp back for the spider room if he doesn't find it. And JazzRaptr's done with his grind. Got a truck ton of money. We have the ability to buy fast on that Red Wizard now, but he's gonna opt out of it. I wonder if lacks a little familiarity with the Red Wizard's spell progression.
He may go and buy spells after he finishes all the dungeons.
And Minh,
last minute shopping trip.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fair. It's pretty quick, pop in, pop out. Minh, not grinding, running from decent encounters like the slimes, but electing to take the eye fights, so only really taking the free fights, nothing that he has to wait for spells to go off, and just trying to blitz as fast as he can through this Sky dungeon. I haven't quite made it to that.
He did grind for quite a bit in Ice Cave, so maybe he's confident with his levels that he's got right now.
Yeah, I think with the Metal Slime pack, I run, fade, run, just in case that fade takes them all out. It's really good experience to just kind of leave behind, but especially with the amount of key items they have. As we know that it's either going to be a loose crown into Oxyale, or it's going to be a loose Oxyale with a crown and Sea Shrine leading to a power bonk. Or just the power bonk and C. So JazzRaptr's thoroughness here will reward him with a ribbon. Depending on where this Oxyale lands, though, he might not find those other two ribbons. If he finds it, if it's not here in Sky and it's somewhere in Marsh, and he goes to Marsh first, he might miss the ribbon there in second floor Mirage.
And the one in, I believe there was one in Dwarf Armory.
It was Elfland Armory.
Elfland Armory, sorry.
Yeah, so he might leave both those behind unless he clears Earth here and is like, my opponent definitely went to Sky because that's the odds-on probability play. If he hasn't finished yet, he's still looking for it too, so maybe I can get ahead of the game, go to Marsh, find this loose item, because at a certain point you got to figure out what gamble you're going to make, if you're going to make one, or if you're just going to hope that it's an Earth over Sky. Which I feel like doing Earth is a gamble over to going to Sky, just for sheer item density. But either way, it's gonna be close.
And this seemingly jet seed has come to an all but grinding halt as they scramble to look for the Oxiel.
And because Mint still has all of the bottom of Volcano to do, which wasn't necessarily bad, and he's got the 3 ribbons now, but there is the ever-looming threat of damage poison giants slowing them down.
Yeah, they seem pretty ambush happy, so that would be a bad thing to see.
And a full clear sky takes a while, as you can see here on Min's side, where JazzRaptr full clearing Earth also takes a while, but if Min doesn't find the Oxiel here, he's got to think it's in Volcano, because he's probably not going to want to go to Marsh.
Also, mission accomplished. The mouse cursor is back on screen.
Alright, mouse cursor percent is a go. So JazzRaptr, when you're watching this VOD back, there is an option in your OBS, a Bane Sword Opal Armor. So all of the really great gear that you could want is here in Sky. You're going to leave that mouse cursor behind. But JazzRaptr, when you watch this back, thank you, your mouse cursor's gone once more. And it's back. There's an option within your OBS to hide your mouse cursor in your different windows. So just a little free nugget there.
Right-click your whatever source you're using, click Properties, and then unclick Capture Cursor.
Absolutely. So that's the one wonderful thing about the spring tournament is you get to watch the VOD back, see exactly what you did racing against another opponent, not in a 4-way race with a bunch of screens going on. You can learn the commentators. I like to think we're doing as best a job as we can here. And there is no Oxiel in Sky. So, time to go back to Marsh.
We're going to Marsh Cave.
Whether these runners know it or not, that's where we're going. So it will behoove JazzRaptr to go all in.
Gosh, and now all these things that we said, if people went Marsh early, if somebody went Marsh early, they could have saved a lot of time.
Before we could even get those bless RNGs and chats, a robot friend barrels into the room and says, "What's all this then?" And we're going to take the fight. Min, the people's champion, going for the fight. Gonna fade Mormec, 131, fasting the knight with swinging that X-Cal. Quad X comes out. We got enough ribbons. Vorpal doing Vorpal things. 2 hits, 105. We're going to go back to tempering. We're going to throw those fades. We're going to keep tempering that Vorpal. Warmech has, 500 HP? Holy crap.
This is when you hope for a double Warmech.
Yeah, so Tin Can Warmech falls to the ground, scatters into pieces, and Min says, "Thank you, sir. I'll have another. Appreciate the XP. Now I'm going to go kill your boss." So, Tia, clutching her pearls, after
unfortunately, we had a Walmart Great Value Warmech. Let's see if Tiamat's any better.
So far, everything kind of rolling low, which makes me a little nervous for what's in Temple of Fiends. Fades comes out for about 230 damage. Double Tempers firing onto that. Hold's not going to work. We got a ribbon. 4 hits, 42. Vorpal doing Vorpal things. We need a couple more Tempers on that. And we're going to get 2 more. Fire 2 going to roll through, not do too much damage except to that non-ribboned Red Mage. Swinging from the Vorpal, 4 hits, 248. Vorpal's finally doing some stuff. Fade rolls in, 113. Tia's sitting at about 700 damage so far. More fades, more nukes. Here comes another swing. 4 hits, 88. Vorpal's back to doing Vorpal things without the crits. Low roll on the fade for 108, I believe. Low roll on the nuke. Another low roll on the nuke, so unfortunate bad rolls all over the place. Nuke's coming back, 157. Fade rolls in. Tia's well over 800 damage here, but there's a Vorpal. That's what Vorpal can do with some crits. 7 hits, 783. Say goodnight, Tia.
So, looks like JazzRaptr picking up that ribbon again. He also went and checked the bat party room while we weren't looking. So
Might wanna
that's always a
move
fun.
that. And JazzRaptor doing the inventory adjustments, realizing that his knight could have been wearing flame armor this whole time. So he's gonna do something with the speed bump on his screen, probably just hit it going 60, and clunks over it as the vampire eats a nuke and an ice 3. The ice 3 is not so surprising. The nuke, we knew the vampires were chunky, but to see one just take a nuke on the chin and be fine kind of gives you a little pause.
So I think at this point, Min's going to go ahead and clear out Volcano, which is going to reveal to him that there is no Oxiel there.
It will light his third orb as JazzRaptor gets rewarded for being thorough with that Aegis shield. And having just done an inventory pickup, has more than enough room to equip that. Kind of wish you would have equipped it before you find these stone poison or damage poison giants, but JazzRaptor gets lucky and does not see the early damage poison.
And as I was saying before we lost it at the site of War Mech, it would have been interesting to see if one of these runners did an early marsh and would have found this, what we're assuming, I'm hoping is there, unless it's in a TOF locked chest, is the loose Oxiel.
True. Yeah, I guess that's all we got left is TOF locked and marsh. So how many boxes is that? We got 4 marsh top. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 in marsh, 3 in TOF lock. We got 12 boxes left. Go ahead and get your guesses in chat for what number box you think it's going to be once our runners go to TOF lock and marsh.
Answering a question in chat, there are 2 loose items in this flag
correct.
set.
Technically 3, but there are 2 loose once you find the canal. We always know the canal
is never incentivized, so it technically doesn't count as a loose incentive.
Correct, it's not a loose incentive, but it is a loose progression item that we do need. Unless we get Canoe Floater right off the break. Could the Oxiel be behind the crowd? Absolutely. We could be looking for a loose Oxiel.
Could be Oxiel Crown, and then Power Gauntlet is the Sea Shrine incentive.
Yep. So we do have that problem figured out. And I would imagine our runners do too.
It's like JazzRaptor must have ran into something nasty in Earthgate, which we know there is a lot of nasty stuff because he's got 2 dead party members. He's only got his fighter and his black mage up.
I think it was that giant pack came through and damage poisoned him. But fighter and black wizard, that's all you really need. We know Lich has 260-ish HP, so that's a swing and a nuke if we're lucky. But we're just going to go with a fast. Going to get Jazz swinging twice as many times. 8 hits, 720. More than enough. Done.
And that is the power of the Excalibur.
Yeah, just destroys Lich. And JazzRaptor can't res here. Gonna go over to Canaria, res those fighters, and think about where we want to go. It's an hour 20 minutes in. At this point, with the full clearing that you've done and not finding out you're in go mode yet, both runners likely feel behind. Both are dreading, I gotta go to Marsh. And Min's one chest away from realizing that I gotta go to Marsh, while JazzRaptor still has all of Mirage Sky to do. So, Min with a little bit of a lead here, unless JazzRaptor throws everything down and just beats feet to Marsh.
Yeah,
Or
depending on what
TOF
Jazz
lock.
does. Min is basically ahead by an entire Fiend dungeon.
We're gonna get a TOF lock check.
Ooh.
Oh, buddy. So
this pays off. He won't check any chests, and he could catch up.
Yeah, if this is Oxiel, this is huge. Because he can go mode Sky where men could not, and that's a really great.
Wow.
So A lot of good grind tiles to find. Copper bracelet. Okay.
All right, there's one.
So it's a 1 in 11 chance here that it's in one of these two. Well, I guess 2 in 11 chance that it's here. 1 in 6.5, 1 in 5.5. I don't know how probability works.
Probability works by using numbers.
So Minh still has to check these boxes. Gonna get.
Oh, it's in Marsh.
Yep. Going to get the defense sword. So it's good routing on JazzRaptr's part, but unfortunately, Team Never Marsh is going to leave Marsh behind and go to Sky. So you can't fault the logic here. There's so many. I think there's like 53 boxes in Sky.
Yeah, there's a lot. It makes a lot more sense to do this over Marsh, and you just really hope it's there because of probability. And looks like he's not checking any of the Mirage chests, unless he already checked them.
Yeah, and it looks like Minh didn't pick up the defense sword. It's at least that's what I'm assuming chat meant by no pick it up. So he's gonna get good stuff out of here. He's gonna get another ribbon.
Finds the blue Diaflor early.
Yep, so that is at encounter 8. So top right Marsh top is a pure potion. So did he really need it with 3 ribbons? I like
the defense sword, yeah.
So defense sword does a little bit different protection, where the ribbons will give you resistance to all elemental damages. The defense, if you use it 3 times in combat, you basically can't get touched with physical attacks.
Yeah, you're thinking it's basically magic defense where ribbon halves all elemental damage compared to
and there it is.
Defense sword, which gives you just straight evasion.
So Minh finds the crown in the top of Marsh, and I did not know you could park your airship there. I always park it in front of it. Tight fit, like a glove. And gets his go mode, 1 hour, 22 minutes. Gonna take on Astos, yank the Oxyale out his mouth. And I would imagine he is set for a collision course with the Sea Shrine. He's got 3 ribbons. He knows where the defense sword is if he really wants it. He's not going to open a box in Sea Shrine.
Interesting that he opted out of exiting out. He might have just forgotten that he had it.
It happens.
Yeah, for sure.
It happens to me a lot when I'm just leaving towns. Instead of just casting warp to get out, I usually just walk myself out of there.
It's definitely a skill to be able to consciously realize that you have items that you usually don't have.
Yeah. So what started out as a jet seed ended up being a full clear last location check for a loose Oxyale. You gotta think so this just gets it in my head, stokes my paranoia. If I find an early canal, I'm going to Marsh.
Watch it never pay off again.
Yeah.
So the odds of it being there are just like astronomically low. Like JazzRaptr is making the right play logically, but it's not going to pay off, as we know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, this is why we race 1v1s and we can watch the VODs and learn from where we made some, because I can't even call that a mistake, you know, like just, no. I guess, learn different ways that the Final Fantasy randomizer, it's not always this, can be.
I think the earlier Sky Clear definitely helped out Minh.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, this is the right play. But we could still see a really nasty Topher that Minh bounces off of and lets JazzRaptr jump right back into it. Because once he clears here, he only has Elfland Armory and Marsh to go. And if he goes Marsh top first, he's going to get that go mode super quick.
I would say rough estimate 2 wipes would put them tied. Maybe 1.5.
Yeah, I want to get a good look at JazzRaptr's levels because he did take some time grinding, and I want to see if that pays off compared to what Min is rolling.
I think Min, last time I checked, he was at like 24s, whereas JazzRaptor's in the high 20s.
Okay.
Maybe even 30 at this point. No, not 30.
Well, the next mini we see, we'll get a chance to take a look. And Min's still checking the greed chest, so looking for something. I guess he's looking for Masa and a free. Also surprising we didn't see Masa, so I'm guessing that's also either in C or Marsh Cave. So more in my head that it is imperative to check Marsh.
Always a Marsh.
Yeah, this never Marsh camp, never Marsh. As Kraken 2, we're gonna stick with our strategies.
Thought we had Bane.
We do,
that would be good to throw that out, but we'll see. Yeah. Looks like he's got some evade on him.
Yeah, so Vorpal doing Vorpal things. We're gonna, now that Vorpal's fasted, we're probably gonna dump some tempers into it. Bane would work here, but it would be, I would feel more comfortable with Brack. Vorpal.
It's the same probability.
Vorpal, big hit, 6 hit, 638. And 1 hour, 26 minutes, 50 seconds. Min hits his go mode. All 4 orbs lit. Vorpal doing its thing. And Min on his way.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptor is just getting to the spiderweb floor, as I call it, in Sky.
I like to think of it as an asterisk.
There's also that. I used to think of it as a snowflake.
Oh, that's nice. Because it's in the sky?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds better than my reasoning.
Alright, so JazzRaptor gonna finish this full clear. I wonder if he'll get to see the paper war mech that exists on the Bridge of Destiny. As Min is heading for Topher, entering Topher at right around the 128 mark. Gonna burn off these cabins, get his items in line. Gonna take about 15-20 seconds to do so, but it will save time for him as he's going through. Dropping the house, not gonna hard reset in, so just taking the encounters from where he was. And it gets rewarded with an immediate back-to-back encounter. So there's that double encounter and just resets and says, "I'll try this again."
So his first dive into Temple of Fiends Revisited was at the hour 28:20 or in 20 seconds. We'll see how long it takes him to get through this.
Yep. And hitting the unrunnable worms, just basically just slowing them down here. This fight should give him a level, so we'll be able to see. Oh, well, nope. No, thank you.
He didn't one round it, so he just opted out.
Yeah. So 129 coming back in. And JazzRaptor leaving. I didn't see if he checked everything on the left side of the sky too. And the Giants with damage poison on the Phantom tile. So 4 Giants pop up and say, "Remember me?"
That's one of the scariest trap tiles that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and a good thing for Min, we didn't see the 4 Gasties either, because those would also be pretty nasty to see. More unrunnable worms. Are we going to adjust our gear to pick up that Bane sword? I think so. Nope.
We don't want the game clincher here. Looks like JazzRaptor's 28 on this fighter, if I saw correct.
Okay. That's pretty good. Dog doing dog things.
Bork, bork.
Yeah. Just dropped his bone. So we've got JazzRaptr hitting the Sky 3 maze. Go to get to those blessed RNGs in chat if you want him to see that paper Warmech when he gets to the next floor.
Min's on the earth floor.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's not getting too many. Oh, and he gets glare on the earth elementals. Okay. Looks like he's not getting too many unrunnables, though, on this Topher dive, so definitely saving a lot of time there. And then he gets unrunnable Sarias. I'm sorry, Min. I didn't mean to do it.
Are you sorry? I don't think you're sorry. That's good XP. So level 25 across the board, roughly, for Min. It's fine, but we would really want to see, I think it's 34?
Big question of the day, does he respect Lich?
And
the answer is partially.
Figured it out. Go with Ice 3. Lich is going to resist that Ice 3, so it's saving the nuke charges for something a little bit later, hoping the Vorpal's enough to get it done. 4 hits, 110. Big punch from Nova, the white wizard, for 1. We're fighting across the board. Lich unleashes a Fire 3. We're still punching 1 damage. 2 damage.
Ooh.
Vorpal, 4 hits, 108. We might want to throw a fast up on that fighter. Just gonna...
Did he get fasted? It was either a fast or a temper went out on the fighter.
4 hits, 279, so Lich is a little thick, a little bit too much disrespect. Here comes the big guns. Fades and nukes coming, but not before Vorpal gets it done, so you kind of got
600 HP.
Yeah, you gotta love that turn order, sparing the spell charges for you.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptr still on the Bridge of Destiny, taking on these Ochos. You thought they were Ochos, but nah.
Nah, bro, they're Ocho. They're not.
Nah,
so,
Ochos.
No Warmech for JazzRaptr. And we're gonna fast up Temper and Fade. So Fade comes out. Tia, we know Tia had a little over 1,000 HP. Fast goes off on Jazz. Here comes a Temper. Here comes a swing. Perfect turn order. 6 hits, 560. We're just gonna swing, nuke, and fade. This round should take out Tia.
Meanwhile, Carrie has a first turn nuclear that wipes out his Black Mage.
That's kind of terrifying. So Carrie radioactive, and we're gonna adjust to just all out offense.
And
Carrie,
the Cure 4. Okay.
Following up first round nuclear with first spell Cure 4, absorbing both of those spells. Here comes Vorpal swinging 400 damage. Gonna try these.
JazzRaptr takes down Tiamat.
And another nuclear. I hope we got life 2 on that night, because double nuclear.
I think he's just going through. I don't think he picked up spells on the night.
So we're in man mode here at 1 hour 33 minutes, and not even opting to heal pot. There we go. Don't want to be too brave here on this floor with just one fighter. If we hit unrunnable waters, that's the bad times. So
here's JazzRaptr going to his Marsh Dive to find his Oxia.
So Min may be thinking hard about that. I'm sorry, Min. It's my turn to curse you with the unrunnable waters. But JazzRaptr electing to check the top side of Marsh, gonna get his crown in the next 20-30 seconds here, and gonna be in go mode, and gonna be about a floor behind Min. I wonder if Min here is thinking about his options, knowing that there's level 2, life 2, and Provoca. There's a defense sword, all of it right within reach. So I think he might bounce off this. If he bounces off this Topher again, I think he makes those adjustments. He's just going to hope for a little bit better turn order and not get that double nuclear. So Min also does have the information that the power bonk is in mermaids. I think that might be a reach too far to go back for that. But defense sword, life 2, definitely within reach. Definitely worth going back for if he bounces hard here. And I think he's tilting himself a little bit. He's an hour 35 in. He knows how deep that Oxyale was. He knows that his opponent hasn't done yet, so he's got to be feeling it. And you can kind of see his routing, his knight's walking like me, kind of bouncing, dizzy all over the place. But it looks like he's steadied himself, and he's walking clean now. So
it's your second Topher dive after a really brutal wipe. Do you start to have regrets after not picking up a power gauntlet or defense sword?
I just got distracted by chat. I guess life 2 is not level 2. I thought it was in level 2. Chat corrected me that it was at level 4. So, yeah, I think regretting picking up the defense sword. JazzRaptr heading off to sea. I forgot that he's got a full sea dive to do. So,
if he gets good encounters, not too many unrunnables, he could be just a wipe away.
Yeah. So I think you were right when you called it earlier that he was 2 wipes away. So we're going to see what this second dive does for Minh the Mage here.
I think he's definitely going to go for a more kill everything strat on carry and onwards, and even maybe on Lich. I don't think he's going to spend as much time buffing.
Yeah, and I think we saw how little health carry actually had. I think he opens up with triple nuke in a swing, or double nuke fade swing.
Yeah, double nuke, or it was nuke, or nuclear.
Right, no, I'm saying that's what you should do with the red wizard and black wizard.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And chat, my opponent for this weekend is arguing with me saying no because Cure 4. Well, yes, because of Cure 4. We want to get, we're going to hope and pray that we get the Alpha Strike and get all 4 of our Light Warriors off and then go. Maybe that's how I'll beat you, cheese. Alright, second chance at Lich 2. We're going to fast that fighter. We're going to throw a fade. Got the good turn order. Fasted Vorpal 633, still not enough. The temper doesn't go off in time, but now we know we can fight and swing and wait. And Jazz checking mermaids. Maybe might pick up a Masa here. Definitely will get that power bonk.
So if he grabs this this power gauntlet and exits, he should be in a good spot. At least for what he's doing currently.
And he drops the Opal Shield. I probably would have dropped the Pro Ring and equipped the Power Bonk.
There's definitely a lot more absorb on that Opal Shield.
Well, he could swap back to the Aegis.
That is also true.
Carrie opens up with the Cure 4. We open up with our own Cure 4, and
well, see, he has a ribbon. Does he have a ribbon on the fighter? No, I don't think so.
He did not get the ribbon out of the Elfland Armory, so he's only rocking 2 ribbons. And now we're going to come in with the damage. Fade coming in on carry, 278. Swing from the Vorpal is fasted and tempered. 8 hits, 369. Temper comes off at the wrong time again, but we're going to fight. We're going to wait. And swing. 8 hits, 761. Better luck this time through carry. The whole party survives. We're going to make it to Kraken 2. As we might get the blessed double Kraken fight. As we get slowed down by those unrunnable waters with Cremate. Didn't see that last time. Firing off Ice 3. That'll put some work in. These waters are a little thick.
This encounter is the reason that he reset when he had Solo Fighter.
Yeah. I mean, you basically have to.
Yeah. Especially since they were casting spells, it was very not fun.
Yeah, you don't want to see what's behind that Cremate. So, JazzRaptr now full on go mode with all the information in the world that he could possibly want. Has made up his mind that he's okay to dive this Temple of Fiends Revisited without the Masa, but we got a Kraken 2 fight. We're going to buff up. We're going to throw some fast and tempers. We're going to throw out a white shirt. Kraken nearly demolishes that knight up at the top. Swing from the Vorpal, 8 hits, 229. White shirt comes out now.
If Kraken has a spell, this could be very, very scary.
And we're going to go with Cure 4 and we're going to Cheeky Bane. Ineffective. Nuke rolls in. 111.
The ideal
Swing from the Vorpal. Oh no!
Oh!
Kraken turn orders the knight, and we are in adjustments to just all nukes. Unresisted nuke roll 348. Oops, all nukes. Fade rolls 139. Another unresisted nuke. Kraken playing nice, taking out the Black Mage. I spoke too soon. Let's see what Kraken's got. And
oh man,
Kraken.
That's a 4-round Kraken if I've ever seen it.
So we gotta think now. We had the defense sword right there. So the difference between a white shirt dive and a defense white shirt dive is 3 rounds to evade cap versus 6 rounds to evade cap.
Meanwhile, on JazzRaptr's side, he takes out Kraken 8 hits for 1,008 damage.
And we're going to have a drag race through Topher. The only difference being JazzRaptr's got on average about 3 levels higher, but Minh has the knowledge of 3 of these Fiendry fights.
I think at this point, by the time that JazzRaptr enters Topher, Minh's going to be at around Earth floor. So it's definitely a really close race.
Yeah. So that round with the Bane, the little hint of disrespect on Kraken 2, and Minh is punished for it. And
we'll see if this defense plus power bonk really helps out JazzRaptr here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a definite gear advantage for JazzRaptr. He might have 1 fewer ribbon, but the defense sword, if this is how mean Kraken is, I can only imagine how terrible. And confirmation there that Life 2 is at level 4, so I was misspeaking a lot earlier, so my apologies there. But we are going to go back and we're going to pick up some magic. We're going to grab...
I think we're going to see Minh go ahead and definitely just kill attempt on Kraken. Mm-hmm. You have no time to breathe in that fight.
Yeah, he does pick up the heal 3 on the knight, so that could save him some time diving down, as he won't have to menu for heal pots if he just spams that heal 3 on the knight.
Looks like he's changing his menu position by using up all his saved items.
Yep.
And he should be good to go into Topher. 82 heal pots, that's definitely workable.
This has to be the dive for Minh. He needs to clear it here, because if he wipes out of here, the lead swings immediately to JazzRaptr. So Minh, with the knowledge, has to make the adjustments in these fights. And he's going to swing, he's going to temper, he's going to fade, and he's going to fast. So going all offense, standing on those bike pedals, 8 hits, 332, fade comes in. Not going to be enough to do it, but now that we've got a fast and temper onto that knight, we can swing and wait. And gets the turn order, 8 hits, another 331. Down goes Lich 2 for the 3rd time. Minh rolling through, has to be mindful of the first turn Cure 4 double nuclear carry 2, and hope that he gets turn order. And I mean, in all honesty, you kind of want carry to punch you.
It's definitely an odd fight because of it's either she's going to, well, there's 3 options. There's going to be an attack, a nuclear, or a Cure 4. And if you start doing damage and then see the Cure 4, you're going to be a little bit sad.
Yeah. So she's either going to negate all the damage you do, or she opens up with Cure 4 with initiative, and then you get all your damage in and hope that it's enough to take her down. But on the other side, she could open up with nuclear, and then you're down to your knight, and you're scrambling. But let's see what Carrie does. We're going to swing. We're going to temper. We're going to fade, and we're going to fast. So same strategy. She opens up with nuclear. Low rolls across the board except on that night, so not bad. 126 from the fade, big swing from the Vorpal, 4 hits, 283. Gets the swing off before the fast, and now we're going to keep tempering, we're going to fade, and we're going to nuke. Nuclear
Another nuclear. Oh, and now JazzRaptr's in the lead.
And there it is. So Minh getting frustrated. You see him taking those, pacing around outside of Topher, and JazzRaptr coming down into Topher for the first time onto the Lich floor, hitting these Saria not starry tiles.
He has hit a very bad section of the encounter table. He's had about 3 of these unrunnable Sarias back to back.
And that's going to chew up his resources. So I don't know if I missed it if JazzRaptr took the hard reset when he came in, but Minh has just been resetting. So he's seeing a different encounter table every time he comes through here.
Who knows? This may be slow right now, but then have a really nice hero run at like Sea or Airfloor when you really need it.
And we're opening up with a nuke. We're going to fast that X-Cal, and we're going to compare X-Cal with Vorpal, doing about the same damage unfasted. So X-Cal showing it's a little bit better in this fight just because Lich has an enemy type. X-Cal doesn't have the crit rate that the Vorpal does, but it will do more raw damage. So Agamas and Argynes coming in with Trance, still trying to slow JazzRaptr down.
And he hasn't really healed at all. This is kind of scary. I know his Red Mage might be at like 100 HP at this point, but he's just going.
He might be banking on it. If they go down, I got life too. That might be what's going through his mind. And he's going to pause here, evaluate, and there's the heal 3.
Heal 3, yeah, really smart.
And here we go, carry. We're going to swing. We're going to fast. We're going to temper, and we're going to fade. All damage. Here comes the fade. 80 damage. Fast comes out. Temper comes out. Perfect turn order so far. Carry.
And the Cure 4.
Negates that 80 fade damage. Big swing there, and now we're going. We're going to fire off some nukes, some fades, and JazzRaptr did not see the double nuclear mess that is carry. So FFR, it's not always this, where JazzRaptr not seeing what his opponent saw, as Minh is... I can only imagine the swear words running through Minh's mind right now. A lot of bad luck in these early fights, and JazzRaptr doesn't even heal before coming in. We're going to power bunk, we're going to fast, we're going to temper, and we're going to white shirt. So turn order, we got a white shirt going off. It's pretty good.
I think he's got to go for a snipe at this point.
Yeah,
he doesn't want that fighter to get hit, which it does.
Fighter gets hit, but it's still standing. So we're adjusting with nukes and another temper and a Cure 4 going out on the night, and
and it doesn't get out.
So, but the nuke with the 332, that's a good nuke roll, but we know Kraken's got a ton of HP, so now we've got to hope that Kraken has something that isn't punches, but he's gambling on it getting enough evade up. So 2 evasion stacks come out.
There's going to be a lot of lessons learned in this, such as reorganizing your party compositions, let your fighters in the back row.
He got enough evades out so that the Red Wizard survived a punch. That's pretty good.
If this Kraken's all physical, though, he's just going to keep going through.
And he's going to Cure 4, and the White Wizard has enough evasion to soak these hits. And we might see this
and
fight
Minh
through.
Is on the seafloor also. And he's plowing his way through.
Nuke comes in 147. There's enough evade now. We can get one more white shirt off, and it looks like this Kraken is all punchy. So here comes the nuke. 159. Kraken's missing now. We're out of nukes, but we can Ice 3 and we can switch to Fade. So Ice 3 is going to come in, do 76 damage. We're into chip damage now. Fade rolls in. 228. This Kraken has some health.
And Minh just pulled Kraken 2 also.
So Ice 3 coming in 104. Fade rolling in.
And he takes down Kraken.
Down goes Kraken 2. Let's check out Minh. 8 hits, 613. Vorpal doing work. And we're going to just do some nukes, do some Cure 4s, and we're just going all offense and hoping that there's still a life caster left at the end of this fight. The Vorpal crits aren't there that time. Nuke 181. Another nuke comes in. 187. We're going to swing. We're going to keep the nukes going. We know that this Kraken has so much health.
The fighter dies.
And the fighter not going to be able to see the end of this fight. But nukes coming in. We got to hope that that big hit from the Vorpal early on was enough to do enough chip damage to take Kraken within nuke range. But
and he's man-moding with a black mage, but he gets hit and he dies. He wipes again.
Minh, unfortunately, just not getting the evasion stacks up, and it looked like we needed at least 3 evade stacks before that Kraken was able to not kill a mage in a single hit.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptr makes the adjustment and moves his fighter to the 3rd slot and moves his red mage up to the top. I think that's a really good move.
Yeah, the red mage is expendable in these fights, because as long as that white mage is protected and the knight's protected, we're good. Because the red mage is now out of nukes, so it's a temper machine. Temper's coming out, we're tempering that X-Cal, we're bonking that X-Cal, and we are going to use a Cure 4 on that red wizard. Pick him back up, pick that meat shield back up, put him back up at the front of the party. More Tempers coming in. I would imagine now is the time where we start swinging that X-Cal.
So he gets lucky on one of those characters, so considering he only had 2 ribbons, unless the fighter put on the Age of Shield.
JazzRaptr doing the reflect strats. It does not work. Bane does not kill Tia. Big hit there. 7 hits, 1327. And we are out of Cure 4s on the White Wizard. We are in deep breath mode right now if we're JazzRaptr. Getting stopped by a party you don't want to get stopped by. Just please, sir, let me through. And we're opting for runs and fades and nukes.
And JazzRaptr with the power bonk, the defense sword, and the higher levels definitely was able to get through where Minh could not.
All right, JazzRaptr onto the Chaos Floor. 1 hour, 52 minutes, 36 seconds. Gonna make some last-minute adjustments, burn some heal pots. Minh back onto the Lich floor.
Jazz pulls Chaos.
All right, we're gonna open up.
Starts off with
Tempers onto the X-Cal. Using our last fast on the X-Cal. We're gonna bonk and we're gonna white shirt. Opting for bonks over defenses. Zap.
And it'll be interesting to see how much buffs he can get on that fighter before everybody else dies. And we also haven't seen one of the scariest spells in this game, Slow 2, yet.
And that's fine that Red Wizard went down. That Red Wizard only had the 1 temper and it got off. So we're going to keep coming with the white shirts. We're going to swing with that X-Cal. 9 hits, 14-12. This Chaos is not long for this world. White shirt comes out. Punch from Chaos, doing nothing. Nuke comes in, 154. We're out of nukes. We're going to switch to ice. We're going to switch to fade. Swing from the X-Cal. 10 hits, 997. Chaos over 2500 HP. Ice 3 comes in, 52 damage. Fade rolls in, 220. Chaos sitting at about 2800 HP. And we're swinging. 10 hits, 1086. JazzRaptr finishes in first place with an official SRL time, 1 hour, 54 minutes, 15 seconds. Get those GGs in chat. JazzRaptr coming from behind to take the win from Minh.
He definitely made some good adjustments there after he saw the Kraken fight.
JazzRaptr not playing like a duck that just joined this community a few months ago.
He's definitely been learning a lot from those weekly seeds that Gregory Puff has been posting, for sure.
And we're going to see if we can get JazzRaptr in here as Minh the Mage takes on Carry 2. Seeing all the adjustments that he can make now. Nuke's coming in 179, gets through Carry 2 again with all of his party members up. And JazzRaptr probably taking a collective breath here as he has not responded to my request for an interview in the SRL room just yet. But Minh the Mage headed back down and hits the seafloor. Big pack here. And he's coming up on Kraken 2. We're going to see what Kraken 2 can do.
Once again, does not change his party composition. He doesn't move his fighter down to the third row. Immediately gets punished for it. See, he's going all offense here. Gonna try and cure for the night. We'll see if he gets turn order. He does not.
All those punches to that poor Knight's face. Usually it's Kraken punching out the back row, and we could almost abide that a little bit more than Kraken punching out that Knight round after round after round. And it looks like that is enough for Minh. He has forfeited from the SRL room, so you can't blame him. Bouncing that hard into Topher, he spent roughly half an hour here. Get those GGs in chat for Minh the Mage. We're going to try to get both of these runners into the SRL or into the broadcast booth to talk to them. Alright, and while we're working on getting our runners here into this, they are newer runners and aren't familiar with how the bots kind of work with getting invites out. So as they come into the booth here, Hypes Nova, what we thought was going to be a jet steed. We called it at the 12-minute floater mark. Turned out to be a knockdown, drag-out fight through the Temple of Fiends. And looks like we're going to get Minh in here first. GG, Minh. That's a tough break through that Temple of Fiends, man.
For sure.
Like, you spent a half an hour bouncing off that Topher.
Stupid Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken doing Kraken things. So walk me through. You're in the seed. It's 12 minutes, roughly 12 minutes in. You get that early floater. What's that feel like for you?
I was like, well, this is a jet seed, and I should look to complete as many dungeons as I can as quickly as I can, which ended up not happening, and it was very slow progression after.
So, Nova, you go ahead and take the lead on the post-game interview. I'm going to try to get JazzRaptr in here. There seems to be some confusion.
Okay, so, as we could tell, this was a terrible seed because of Marsh Cave. What was your thoughts doing that?
I wasn't feeling too bad about last locationing Marsh Cave, because, like, the water dungeon isn't very hard to clear quickly. Like, I like go moding Sea Shrine because it doesn't take too long to go mode it. I was more glad that I didn't have to dig through Sea Shrine to get my last item than I was more happy that I had to get at last location Marsh instead of digging everything out of Sea Shrine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's valid. Like, we were doing the math. We were trying to keep up with you guys on stream with like where the different key items could be, and it looks like we got a JazzRaptr in chat. GG JazzRaptr.
Thanks very much. Pretty exciting.
Talk to me about we're getting an echo from JazzRaptr.
Okay, can you hear me right now? What do I do to fix that?
Do you have headphones?
I don't have headphones.
Cool. I don't have a workaround.
Maybe he can mute his mic and then we just type questions.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Push to talk. Yeah, push to
Don't
talk.
echo with speakers.
Okay, so JazzRaptr, you got through Temple of Fiends Revisited on your first dive. Let me tell you about the things you didn't get to see. You saw the Cure 4 on Carrie. What you didn't see was the double nuclear that she was packing that kept microwaving Min's party the first 2 dives. You also didn't see... Well, I guess you did see how punch-happy Kraken was as you were down to just your white mage, but you got a little bit better turn order and a little bit more effective use out of that white shirt. I wanted to ask both of you about the defense sword that we found in Northwest Castle. What were our thoughts regarding why we didn't use that, Jazz, and why we didn't pick that up, Min? So let's get Min's thoughts first.
Wait, why didn't I pick up what?
The defense sword that we saw in Northwest Castle.
I didn't think I'd need it because I had white shirt. That's the only reason I skipped it.
Well, the biggest difference there, white shirt plus defense sword, is evade cap for 1 fighter in 3 rounds for 6. So...
Well, I didn't think I would need it because it's unclamped. I didn't expect Kraken to be doing like 600 damage and attack. So
yeah, that's fair. Kraken's gonna do Kraken things though. I'm sorry, JazzRaptr. Did you give any thought to using the defense?
Completely forgot about it. Sorry about the echo if there's still an echo. I know I picked it up and I saw it at one point in time, but I just didn't think about it at the time.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there was a lot going on. So talk to me about the nerves going through the seed. Like, we were trying to figure that out too, like where routing was diverging all over the place once we got that early floater. How did you ever at any point feel behind before we started lighting orbs?
For sure. I can say that I was trying to go for the treasure dense areas. I think at one point in time I went up to the waterfall and I saw all the poison that was in waterfall, and that was no fun. And then I just kind of followed what the seed was telling me to at that point in time.
Yeah. And Min, what were your overall thoughts as you were going through this seed?
So as I went through the seed, I got to Topher. I'm like, I'm in a good spot. I'm in the lead. I'll be able to win this no problem. And then Topher happened. I was feeling good until I had to do Topher.
Yeah. I mean, I think you bounced out of Topher like 4 times. So like, yeah,
I think that was my 6th dive.
Yeah, it was just brutal watching Kraken do those terrible things to you. But don't let it get to your head, man. You got another, like, that 0-1 pool, like, is going to be real dangerous. I mean, Min, you race real strong. This just RNG bad luck as you're diving through Topher. And JazzRaptr representing the latest Duckling Derby graduates, showing that the Ducks are nothing to shown that, like, between JazzRaptr and Courant, what you guys have been doing in these first few races in the spring tournament is exciting to see. So how does it feel racing in this the 1v1 setting here, JazzRaptr?
As the first time, I can say this is intimidating. You have to kind of do this metacognition that you don't really do for the big tournaments. And I know that Min's an excellent player, so man, it was something for sure.
And Min, how are you adjusting to the 1v1 matchups here?
I've always preferred 1v1 over any other format of tournament. I like big races. It just doesn't give me as much of a chance to prove myself, I think.
Yeah. Well, you're both going to get ample opportunities to show yourself, prove yourself. I think everyone watching this was taking notes because both of you put on a wonderful show. I'm going to be done talking now and let Hypez ask any questions he may have.
So I noticed, Min, on your side, there wasn't a lot of adjustments between your couple Kraken fights in Topher. Could you explain why?
I forgot.
That's
That's
fair.
the only reason. Whenever I got to Kraken, I was like, okay, I'm gonna heal up, and I'm just gonna do it without moving any party members around because I forgot to move them around.
That's fair.
Yeah. The nerves will do that to you.
Meanwhile, JazzRaptr, he did a really good adjust after he saw that Kraken sucked and ended up moving his fighter down to the third row for Tiamat, which ended up helping out a lot.
Yeah, I didn't want that blowout to happen again. That was something for sure.
Other than that, it was interesting to see because JazzRaptr never used the Vorpal if he picked it up. I don't know if he did. Whereas Minh used that basically the entire game. It was interesting seeing the comparison of Xcal versus Vorpal.
Yeah. No Masa sightings tonight. We're assuming it was in left side of C or marsh. So my takeaway lesson here is regardless of where the canal is, go to marsh. But we're gonna give Speed Gaming their channels back, but first we're gonna go around the room, get final thoughts. We'll start with JazzRaptr, our first place finisher tonight. Final thoughts.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks for the time, Min. You did excellent. Thanks for letting me battle you. This was a great time for me. Thanks for everything.
And Min?
Never let Caleb roll a seat again.
I apologize for nothing. At least I thought it was going to be a super jet floater seed, man. Like you guys were loaded to bear out the gates, and then
ended up full clearing the game.
Yeah. And with it being the Oxyel with the C incentive is just such a rare delight. But I've been Caleb. I've been here with Danny383 on tracking, on Speed Gaming 4. I'm going to pass it off to Hypez Nova to close us out and bring us home, buddy.
Okay. One thing I just wanted to say to the runners, if you ever have the time, please check out the VOD. It's really it was very entertaining to watch. And there's probably a couple of things that you both could learn. Anybody could learn from watching these VODs. Other than that, my name is Hypez_Nova. I was joined by Caleb, Danny on tracking, first place JazzRaptr, and Min the Mage. We hope you guys have a good night and be tuned for more races.
All right. Team Mouse Cursor.